crafty peeps, I'm Lisa, your dollar mom, and today's project is a boho neutral chandelier type project. It's a lighting, or if you don't want to put lights in it, it actually just look good as a hanging decoration. And then also a really cute boho neutral pillow. And I was inspired by something that I kind of came across on Facebook. That I just thought I have to make this for myself. So let's get to the project, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you will get a notification of all my projects. For this pillow project, you're going to need one of these rugs from the Dollar Tree. You're going to need a pillow to cover, which is this old pillow I had on hand. You're going to need one of these drop cloths from Home Depot or any other material, but these are huge and inexpensive that I can make a lot of things out of. Some sort of ribbon or burlap. I'm always using this. Some of this new nautical rope from Dollar Tree, pair of scissors, and a glue gun. Okay, so I'm going to fold it over in half so that I have two pieces. This is going to be the main pillow covering. So you just want to make sure that your pieces are exactly the same size. You're going to put your pillow down and kind of make about an inch around each side, and this will give you enough fabric to glue together. So I'm just kind of eyeballing it here, and I'm just going to make a cut on one side. I'm going to make a cut on the bottom side, and then I will cut out my square. I forgot to mention, this is a no-sew pillow. You definitely could sew it to make it more sturdy, I guess, but since it's purely for decoration, the glue gun is going to be much quicker and much easier. Now that your square is cut out, you're going to put your right sides together. So you're going to basically be turning your pillow inside out. So go ahead and you're going to flip this over so that both of your front sides are touching each other. Because later on we will flip this back around outside. Okay, so now it's time to cut our rug. So I've decided that I'm going to do about 8 inches on one side, and then I will cut that. And actually I make a little slit at the bottom. I'm going to measure the top. I'm going to make another slit. Then I will fold it in half, and this is how I will get a nice straight and even cut. And then I will do this on the other side, and I chose to do 4 inches on the other side because I don't want these equal. I want them asymmetrical. I'm going to set those aside, and now it's time to glue my two right sides together. I'm going to put glue around 3 sides because we want to keep one side open to insert our pillow. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue, like I said, 3 sides. Now that those three sides are glued together, I'm going to turn it inside out, which now has the front sides, or good sides, on the outside. Just kind of take your fingers and push those corners through, and then now we can start decorating the front of this pillow. So since the part where I cut would fray, I'm going to go ahead and fold over the edges and make a seam. So I'm going to do this all the way down where I cut, and then I'm going to do this on the smaller piece that I cut as well. So now I'm just going to kind of play around with the placement of the rope and the ribbon, kind of see where I want it. And once I kind of decide where it's going to be, I cut down my ribbon, and now it's time to glue everything down to the front of our pillow. Now for this rug piece, I'm lining it up so that the fringe is going to go right over the edge. So right where the rug starts is where I'm going to glue. So I'm just going to glue this whole thing down, and I'm going to repeat it on the other side. Then I'm going to glue the nautical rope down as well as the ribbon. Now with the type of ribbon I chose, it's very, what's the word, open. So if I just were to like put glue all over it, you would see the glue. It would come right through. But it does have a small edging, so I'm going to put just the smallest layer of glue on the outside of this ribbon. Now if you were to put a solid piece of burlap, then you would be fine. But this particular one is a mesh. That's the word I was looking for. It's like a mesh. So I have to be very careful where I put the glue so that you don't see it. So I'm just very meticulous about putting just a small layer of glue around the outsides. Okay, now that our pillow is decorated, we can go ahead and insert our old pillow inside. And if you don't have a pillow to cover, you can put just any kind of filler inside. That'll work for you. Okay, so now we're going to close up that end. And the way I do that is I fold over the front side. Then I fold over the back side so that they're both inside of the pillowcase. Okay, so once I have those both folded in, I'm going to make them nice and neat, folded to the edges, and then I'm going to secure with a pin. I'm going to do this all the way down the pillow so that it all looks nice and neat. Okay, now that I have put my pins in all the way across and know right where I'm going to glue, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a layer of glue on the bottom side, and then I'm going to pinch these together and hold it real tight so that it gets a good and adhered together. And then as I go down the pillow, I'll just take out one pin at a time, glue that spot, go to the next spot, pull the pin out, and glue. And I'm going to do this all the way to the end. Once I finished that side, I felt like the top side just wasn't finished. There was some space and I didn't love it. So I went ahead and tucked the top part just like I did the bottom part so that it will have a nice finished edge. So I'm just going to repeat what I did down below. And the pillow's complete. I think this is a great looking high-end decorative pillow. Okay, so this is going to be the base of my fixture and my little chandelier. So I'm going to spray paint it, and I will show you that after it's done. Okay, I gave that their first coat. I thought I had some white, and all I had was this gray, but that's fine because this whole outside is going to get covered, which you'll see. So the most important part was just to make sure that that purple wasn't showing through a bunch. And then once this dries, I'll flip it over and I'll spray the inside, and I will spray the other side of that. Now it's time to assemble. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the wreath form over the pot, and that is going to make our rim to the pot. I went ahead and about every 4 inches I poked a hole into the pot, and this is going to be how I adhere the wreath form to the pot. So I go ahead and I stick a piece of wire into the hole, and then I go around the wreath wire frame. I put the wire back inside that hole, and then I pull it really tight, and then I'm going to tie a knot, and I'm going to kind of twist that wire inside, and I'm going to make it big enough so it can't come back through the hole. And I just used a pair of needle nose pliers to get that nice and twisted, and then I'll cut off any excess wire with my wire cutters. After I got the wire through each hole around, it is time to add the nautical rope to our project. Now, in this project, I am using the new cream-colored nautical rope from the Dollar Tree. I'm also going to use their regular brown nautical rope, and I'm just going to go around this, and I'm just going to make a random pattern, really. You can do anything you want. I believe I start with 1 row of white, then several rows of brown, and then 2 rows of white and several brown. So it's just up to you how much you want to use of each color. You don't get as much of this cream colored rope as you do with the brown nautical rope. So I use this color a little more sparingly than the brown to keep the cost down. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to do this all the way around the pot until I get my desired design. Now the bottom of most pots have these little holes that you can poke out so that water can come through them. This, of course, is the top of our project. Anyhow, I'm just going to pop these four circles out. And if you don't have these little pop-out features, if you're using a Dollar Tree plastic pot, it's so easy to make a hole in them. They're very thin. So go ahead and you will do this. And after a bit, this is going to be how we hang our pot. Now, I didn't finish the top with any nautical rope. I was trying to keep the cost down a little bit. But if you want to finish off the top, you could use some more nautical rope, or you could use some of the jute twine and glue that around. But I wasn't going to probably see the top when it's hanging, so I just went ahead and left it plain. Then I went ahead and went underneath the wreath form, and I finished off the rope all the way to the top of the pot, or I should say the bottom of our project, since we flipped it over. And I'm just going to continue putting the nautical rope all the way around until the entire outside of the pot is covered. Now that our pot is fully covered, you might find a few little spots that have a little bit of space between them, and you could easily fill that with the jute twine if you want to finish it off, so you can see a little bit of gray right there. And I could glue some, like I said, some twine there to cover it, but I couldn't really see it when it was hanging. And there is the finished outside. I love the way it looks. And now we're going to flip it back over, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to get those top part finished where we're going to hang it. So I just kind of grabbed out this little water jug just so that I could get my project off the table some, so it was hanging. So I take one of the pieces of jute, not the jute twine, excuse me, nautical rope, and I went ahead and I pulled it apart because it's three pieces that are wrapped together to make the nautical rope. So I just needed a thinner piece. So now I have three pieces of rope that I've undone. So you'll see, obviously I have 4 holes. Well, I went ahead and I cut one of the nautical ropes in half because I didn't need it this long. So you're going to go ahead and you're going to feed it down these holes, all 4 pieces. And then you're going to flip over your pot once you have all the pieces down inside. And then you're just going to tie a knot so that these pieces won't come back through these holes. And once you have all your pieces into the hole and tied around the bottom, you're going to cut all your strings the same size, and then you will tie them all together in one big knot. Now it's time to string our beads together. This will hang off the wreath form and make a really cute dangle around. So I go ahead and I grab some of this painter's tape or masking tape, and I just put it around the end of my twine. This just makes it much easier to thread through the beads. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put 16 of these beads on the rope, and then I'm going to double knot after 16 beads. After I double knot, I will put on another 16 beads, double knot, 16 more. I'm going to do this 6 times because we have 6 sections. And in the magic of filming, I have all these complete. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to loop these around. So I'm going to tie right at the beginning. I'm going to tie right here. And then I'm going to loop these beads all the way around. And everywhere that there's this vertical line in the wreath form, that's where those double knots are going to sit. And then later I will secure those with a tassel. I purchased these beads off Amazon for a really good price. They came in 3 sizes, and I will link that below. Okay, and now I'm going to make 6 tassels. I learned this trick from the Daily DIYer, if you'd like to see hers, but I went ahead and just cut this piece of cardboard out in a rectangle, and then I just cut another rectangle out. You'll see this duct tape around, that's just to make this a little sturdier. But I went ahead and I wrapped it around 12 times. This is, like I said, this is going to make our tassel. Okay, and after I've wrapped around 12 times, I'm going to go ahead and cut it, and I kind of leave a longer tail. Then you're going to cut yourself your top tail. So can you have a tail at the top? So I go ahead and I feed it through the front side of the tassel here, and I'm going to just tie it in a double knot at the top, and this is just going to give us something to tie to our wreath form. Now you're going to grab another piece of yarn, and I don't cut this piece off. I just, I'm going to loop it here. So now I'm going to loop it all the way around, so both sides, the back side and the front side. And again, I'm going to tie it in a double knot. Okay, and now at the bottom, I am going to cut this off of our form, and this is going to give us the bottom of our tassel. And then I'm going to slide it off of this, this piece of cardboard, and as you can see, there's the tassel. Now the string that we still have connected to our yarn skein is, we're going to go ahead and wrap it around, and this is just going to make our top, between our top and our bottom, just have a little bit more of a middle section. So just wrap, 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 and then I'm going to cut it, make sure I cut it long enough, and then I will tie that to one of the longer strings hanging down, and I just tie it one time. Okay, and there our tassel is done. Now I'm just going to give it a little haircut at the bottom, just so that all the strings are the same size. And then I'm just going to repeat this, and I'm going to make 5 more, and this is what is going to hold our beads securely onto our wreath form on our chandelier. And that's it. Our boho chandelier is complete. Now this one doesn't have any lighting in it, but you can easily add lighting. You could put a push light from the Dollar Tree up inside on the inside roof, or you can add some fairy lights inside. There's lots of different lighting you can do. If you want to check out my party lantern DIY, I'll link that below, where I do add lights to something similar. I hope that you enjoyed these two boho projects. I hope you will like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.